Hello and welcome. This is class number 33 of the quick revision series for Prelims 2024. I hope you have been learning all these facts and revising whatever you already read. We are pretty close to your prelims examination. There's not a lot of time left. So I really hope that you are in line with your preparation. Presenting to you today's class in which we'll be discussing science and technology news from the last 1 year or so that has been important. If you want the PDF of these lectures, you can join the Telegram channel. The link is in the description of the video. On this channel, I upload all the PDF of the lectures that are conducted here. Without any further wait, let's begin with the first news. The first news is about a kind of a cyber fraud called smishing. The government of India has warned people against smishing attacks. Now, what exactly is this? I'm sure all of you would have heard of phishing. Phishing attacks are usually when you get emails which are not legitimate. There are emails which can have false information, which might have some false link, asking you to click on certain links and then take you to a fake website, asking you to give personal details. In case of smishing, in case of email, these attacks are done on SMS. That is the big difference, where you might get a fake SMS in response to which you might be asked to give your personal detail, the financial detail. That is called smishing. So it's a phishing scam that uses text messages instead of email. It tricks the individuals to give away your sensitive information. It can be in the form of a message from bank, agency, etc. For example, a lot of times you get a message that your credit card is about to get expired, call on this number, or click on this link to enter your details. Again, we'll send you your credit card, or your account is being blocked. Click on this link and we'll unblock your account. Whenever you get these kind of messages, they can be a form of fraud, and that is why you have to be very, very careful. These pose as a combination of SMS and phishing. These text messages, as I said, usually contain links or websites which are fake. When you enter or when you click on these links, you will be taken to a website that will look similar to your bank's website. The color, the text of the website will be very similar to the kind of website that you have usually in your bank, but it will be a fake website. Whatever information you fill in, it will go straight to the scammer, and that is how it will be misused. Your password, username, etc. will be taken by the scammer. Examples, as I said, include when you get messages from so-called financial institutions which are not really the banks. You get messages from someone who claims that we are from the government. You might get a message that Prime Minister Modi has now decided to transfer 15 lakh rupees to your account because he had promised it. Click on this link to give us your details of the bank and we will transfer the 15 lakh rupees. Some kind of an SMS like that can come in. Again, I'm not giving business idea to anyone, but this is an example of how these attacks can actually happen. These are some other kind of cyber frauds that you will see. Phishing, as I told you, this usually happens on emails. When you get a email which will be from a fake source asking you to click on certain links, give your personal information which will be misused. Then spear phishing. These are scams targeted at specific individuals, organizations. Voice phishing. Again, you might get a call. The voice will be similar to someone that you know, but it will be a scam. It will be a fake call. Farming, where malicious code is used to redirect individuals to criminals' websites without your knowledge, and that is how it is a scam that is conducted. Next news, Open Kylin. What exactly is this? Open source computer operating system. Computer operating system like Macintosh that runs on Apple or that Apple computers have, or Windows that Microsoft computers have. All of these are operating systems, but these are closed source. Closed operating system means if Microsoft has made Windows in a certain manner, you can't change it. You have to use the Windows operating system in a manner that Microsoft has created without any scope to change anything. Open source softwares are where users can make changes. There will be a base operating system. Over that, you can make your own changes. China has released that, and it is called Open Kylin. It is an open source computer operating system, open source computer desktop operating system. Open Kylin is based on existing open source Linux operating system. It is built by a community of about 4,000 developers. So it's a joint creation of 4,000 developers coming together. It's a community effort, and that is how it is being used by China. Also, this open source operating system, as I told you, allows public access to code for viewing, modification, distribution. It also encourages fixing of bugs, any enhancement in the future, etc. You can use this for creating a mail list. It also has much better transparency because you know that you can change it according to your own. It's open source. You don't have to depend upon how the company has created it. Next news, anthrobots. Anthrobots, as the name suggests, anthro means man-made and then there is robots. So anthrobots basically means very small, tiny cellular robots that will be used to treat some problems within the human body. So they can be targeted to treat certain organs of your human body, to help them recover from any problems, any injuries. These are called anthrobots. These are very tiny robots made up of human cells, and as I said, they will help in repairing damaged neural tissue. They assemble themselves, so they are biological robots. They are made up of human tracheal cells. Do remember, they don't have any genetic modification. So it is a patient-specific robot. It's not that mine will be used on yours. A patient-specific robot with a life of 45 to 60 days. These are constructed in vitro via fully scalable model, requires no external form of machinery, manual sculpting or embryonic tissues. Everything will happen within inside the body, and it does not really have to be something that is done outside. These are all superbots. They are capable of movement, they can heal the neurons, they can also fuse together to form larger structures called the superbots as well. They can survive in very specific laboratory conditions. The size can be very small. The smallest will be just about the width of the human hair. The largest can be the size of a pencil tip. So even the largest ones will not be very, very big. They are specifically being used to repair damaged tissue, neural tissues within your human body. There is also something called the xenobots. The difference being anthrobots are made from human tracheal cells, while xenobots are created with embryonic stem cells of the frogs. These are capable of self-organizing and capable of ensuring that the task that is given to them is performed. And anthrobots also can fuse together to create a bigger unit that is called the superbots. Applications of xenobot include drug delivery, medical procedures. For anthrobots, they are mainly used for healing of the wounds and treating your diseases within the human body that mainly is caused by rupture of the tissues. 345, something related to our new parliament building, that is a Foucault pendulum. The new parliament building has a lot of important pieces of art related to science as well, related to sculptures. One of them is a Foucault pendulum. Now this is a pendulum that was invented by a French physicist in 19th century. It's a pendulum that actually demonstrates the rotation of the earth. It's a physical proof that the earth rotates on its axis. So basically, if you keep on looking at it, its direction changes slightly with the rotation of the earth. That is how it demonstrates how this pendulum works. So this is the entire pendulum. This is the knob, this is the wire. That's how the pendulum actually works. If you keep on looking at it closely, it will change its direction with time, because again the earth is rotating, and that demonstrates how the rotation of the earth works. It has been installed in the new parliament building, designed and installed by National Council of Science Museums. It is a very simple device as such, and again does not require a lot of outside interference, because the entire idea is that it works on the earth's rotation, so there is no external interference that is required. It illustrates the earth's rotation. Original one was invented in the 19th century. You can set it in to and fro motion, then it changes the orientation slowly over time. As I told you, if you keep on looking at it, if you make a video, there are many videos available online. If you see a video, after some minutes you will keep on seeing it change its direction without any external interference. That indicates how the rotation of the earth is impacting it. If you set it in north-south direction, very soon you will see it will move in the east-west direction. It is mainly because of a couple of things. First, the Coriolis effect, because of which the pendulum appears to rotate clockwise or counterclockwise depending upon the latitude. On the other hand, it also works on the principle of conservation of angular momentum. It remains constant during its motion as the earth rotates, pendulum's oscillation also rotates to conserve its momentum. So it's based on very simple scientific concepts. It is now a part of the new Parliament building in New Delhi. Next, number 346, the free martins. What exactly are free martins? So these are certain cattle. So let's imagine this. Let's say there is a cattle who is pregnant with twins. If those twins are one male and one female who are sharing the same uterus. So there's a pregnant cattle with twins, one male, one female inside the same uterus. What happens in this case a lot of times, because of the exchange of hormones, that female cattle who will be born will actually not have reproductive capabilities. That female cattle who is born will not have reproductive capabilities because it may have had some male hormones and it might show behavior of both male and female. So these are called free martins. Free martins, as I said again, those cattle that are not able to reproduce, they exhibit very different kind of physical behavior. Their behavior is mixed up between man and women, or male and female rather. They are not able to reproduce, so they are not of much use to the farmer. So these are called free martins. In a lot of cases, they are killed because the farmers think that it is just increasing their economic financial burden. So they usually kill them. Culled means basically killed. So they are culled because they can't reproduce. Farmers identify them by their physical and their behavioral traits. Again, as I said, the idea is simple, that these free martins are sterile female cattle. They result, or how are they born? Because of twin, male and female, who have shared the same uterus. In 90% of these cases, it means in 90% cases where there are twin cattles, where there's one male and one female, in 90% of those cases, the female one will turn out to be a free martin that is not prepared or not capable of reproducing, and that is why they are usually killed by the farmers. What is the cause for this? Exchange of bloods between the male and female fetuses because they are part of the same uterus. They share cells carrying the Y chromosome from the male twin into the female twin. Then there is hormonal influence and the course of action. This chromosome triggers development of male reproductive organs in the male fetus, while the female fetus is affected by the presence of these male hormones, and that is what impacts their reproductive capabilities. The impact on the female mainly is that they are not able to reproduce when they are born. Their characteristics include non-functioning ovaries, masculinized behavior, and small ovaries, etc. That is why they are usually killed by the farmers. Next, number 347. The phenomena of the Hubble constant was in the news because an Indian scientific group has proposed new way to decide how the universe expansion can be understood. Now, what is the Hubble constant? In simple terms, Hubble constant means the rate at which the universe is expanding. You would have read this since your school time. The universe is expanding, the galaxies are moving away from each other. At what rate are they expanding? This is called the Hubble constant. Hubble constant, as the name suggests, is named after Edwin Hubble. There is a value to it. The value is 70 km per second per megaparsec. Now, what exactly is this? This means for every megaparsec of distance, so megaparsec is a unit of distance. It's a unit of distance. So for every megaparsec distance between two galaxies, the distance between them will increase by about 70 km per second. So in between two galaxies, which are 1 megaparsec separated, every passing second they will be separated by 70 kilometers more. That is the value of the Hubble constant. It is a tool, it's a value that is used by the astronomers to get an idea about the evolution of the universe, because they basically then try to imagine it in a reverse cycle. That if right now the distance between the two galaxies is this much, then 100 years ago what would have been the difference, 1000 years ago what would have been the distance, and then they go back to understand when the universe would have begun. So basically they chart it backwards to understand the beginning of the entire universe. That is the Hubble constant. Next, the government of India has launched something called the Nirakshi, which is an autonomous underwater vehicle for mine detection. So, the idea here is that navies, when they are trying to counter other countries' navies through their submarines or through their ships also, they might place certain mines in the ocean. Now, you might have heard of mines on the ground, that they are hidden underground, and if you step on that, it becomes very dangerous. That is true. But there are mines underground as well that are usually being put in place by enemy submarines or ships. They also have to be detected and they also have to be disposed. So detection of these mines is increasingly difficult with improving technology of the mines. What we have done, we have launched a autonomous underwater vehicle called Nirakshi, whose entire force will be towards detecting all these underwater mines and then giving out the warning signals to the nearby ships. It will detect mines and dispose them. How? It will have its sensors and detection system to locate underwater mines to improve maritime security and safety. It will operate at a depth of up to 300 meters and enable detailed underwater environment surveys. It will have endurance of up to 4 hours. It can carry extended underwater missions without the constant surface control. So it's autonomous, means it would not have to be controlled. No one will give it directions to move right or left or go deep or come up. It's autonomous in nature. It will keep on going after different types of mines that it sees up to 300 meters in depth, and it will keep on relaying the information. It's a collaborative effort between Garden Reach shipbuilders that build a lot of ships for India and the Aerospace Engineering Private Limited. Its applications include maritime surveillance, infrastructure protection, supporting offshore energy exploration, conducting scientific research in underwater environments, and tracking pollution level as well. So it's not just about detecting mines, it's also about making sure that other such activities can be performed under the water. Next, Japan was successful in sending its moon mission called SLIM, SLIM, stands for Smart Lander for Investigating Moon. So it happened after Chandrayaan 3 that Japan also was able to successfully have a soft landing on the moon, and the name of its mission is SLIM. SLIM is also, it's been named SLIM because of the small size that it has. I'll give you an idea, but it's extremely small in size. This is an effort by Japan Space Agency to land on the moon's surface. Japan has now become the 5th nation to have a soft landing on the moon. India had become the 4th one in 2023. Before Japan, India had already achieved that. That's a huge achievement. So now Soviet Union, US, China, India and Japan are the countries that have achieved soft landing on the moon. Why is it called SLIM? Because it is the smallest and the lightest spacecraft to land on the moon. Just in the context, it weighs about 200 kilograms. So if you want to have a comparison, Chandrayaan 3, its weight was 1750 kilogram. And Chandrayaan 3 in itself was not a very huge mission. See, the missions, whenever you are sending it, the weight will be dependent on the payloads that you are sending. So when you are sending a lot of payloads, very high line cameras, labs, etc., when you want to conduct some tests, automatically your weight will increase. The more the weight of the mission, the more complex it is, and you will have to choose your vehicles, launch vehicles very carefully. PSLV, for example, can be used for light weight vehicles. That is much more easier and successful for ISRO. GSLV then has to be used for heavier missions. GSLV Mark III then becomes even more complex. It can take up to 4000 kgs of payload. So again, depending upon the payload, a lot of things can be decided in the mission. The lighter you keep it, the more are the chances it will be successful. SLIM is dubbed as the Moon Sniper, second Japanese mission to target a soft landing on the moon. It employs a vision-based navigation technology for higher landing accuracy, and they have been able to achieve that soft landing. These are the main objectives. First, to land within 100 meters versus the conventional accuracy of several kilometers. For example, when they have decided a spot, for example, before the project would have started, they would have already decided this is the point on the moon where we want to land. So around that how much can you actually come or how close can you come to it. So they want to be at least within 100 meters, not several kilometers away. They wanted to test autonomous hazard detection, to analyze lunar surface composition, radiation level, etc. and also ensure that for the future probes to come in, for the manned missions, etc., to take humans to the moon, they should have enough capabilities and they should prepare enough grounds for that. Last news for this session is SKAO, Square Kilometer Array Observatory. What exactly is this? India is set to become a full member of this, and that is why it is in the news. Now, it is a project where basically thousands of small antennas are working together. It's not one big antenna, it's thousands of small antennas working together. It's a collection of these dish antennas mainly spread across vast distances in Australia and South Africa. There are these two where they are working as a single unit in sync. The project is headquartered in UK. The difference between Australia and South Africa projects are the Australia one is in the mid frequency range, South African one is in the low frequency range. Member countries now include India as well. So it's Australia, Canada, China, France, New Zealand, UK, etc. India is participating in this project through our Department of Atomic Energy and Department of Science and Technology. The idea or the objective of the project is to tackle the still unknown things about dark matter, dark energy, to understand how these two work. If you remember in the earlier class, we had discussed about the Euclid mission of European Space Agency trying to achieve a similar kind of an objective to try and understand about dark energy and dark matter in the space. This is usually how it looks like. So as you can see, very small dish antennas, thousands of them spread at small distances, and they are all working in sync. What about India's connection with radio astronomy? Because that is the technology that is being used. India already has very significant advancements in this radio astronomy field. We have a giant meter wave radio telescope, which is one of the most advanced facilities in the entire world. There are other facilities that we also have set up: Ooty, Nainital, Bangalore, etc. Here is the difference between radio telescopes and optical telescopes that you must know. As the name says, optical telescopes observe only the visible light range. Radio telescopes basically work in the radio frequency range. Optical telescopes detect the signals through lens or mirrors. Radio telescope use large parabolic dishes, so the ones that you have, for example, at your home, like dish TV, etc. There are certain limitations. For optical telescope, there are challenges of observing celestial objects due to dust, gas, etc. because visible light is affected. Radio telescopes can penetrate dust and gas more effectively, and that is how they are able to gather much more information as compared to optical telescopes. Radio telescopes are valuable for investigating objects that emit radio waves. On the other hand, the optical telescopes are able to provide images about composition, temperature of these objects. There are examples given of both of these. You can read about them as well. This was our class for science and tech. We have, I think, 2 or 3 more classes of science and tech. Then we move on to things such as defense, places in news, and then we will conclude it. Thank you so much for watching. Do hit the subscribe button if you have not done so till now, and if you want a PDF of this class, join the Telegram channel. The link is in the description of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye. Jai Hind.